All right, man, I hope y'all are having an amazing day today. So I'm pretty sure that you already have heard and you already know this situation, but just to give you guys a little bit of context to this video, it was a guy that came on to the Whatever podcast, and he basically said that if you are married, right, you should endure physical abuse from your partner, and you should not be quick to get a divorce. You should just endure that. Everybody quits in marriage too much nowadays. Now, I do agree that people do quit like in marriage nowadays, because a lot of those people who do that get married for the wrong reasons. But when you talk about physical abuse, that's an entirely different conversation. I don't care if it's the first time. I don't give a damn if it's been 2, 3, 4, 5 times. When you talk about physical abuse, that person who is being abused needs to get out of that situation immediately. You don't know what's going through that person's mind. You don't know if that next time will be the last time for you. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, bruh, that's some of the dumbest advice I've ever heard. But I've been preached. They made a video and they're talking about some receipts that their subscribers and stuff have been sending them. And so we're going to go through the video and we're going to give our thoughts and opinions on this entire situation. Let's run it.
So you remember the Endure guy?
Yes.
If there's someone that's very, very young and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive. Even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
it is.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive?
You got to endure. People are too...
You want to stick in the relationship?
People are just...
I mean, look,
people
I'm gonna be
nowadays
honest.
are just...
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
endure.
I'll
tell you what. I'll tell you what.
It is such an extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if two people get married, they have a kid, and then the wife starts cheating? Do you think they should divorce?
Absolutely. Jesus himself said in cases of adultery, divorce is
So you think that
permissible.
divorce is worse than physical abuse?
For the
Or
children?
cheating, sorry. You think that cheating is worse than physical abuse?
For the children, yes.
Watching that clip again does not make it any less cringe, man. That's a crazy take. He tried to backtrack though. Y'all saw Destiny's face like during that entire thing. He was like, bro, this is some bullshit. He was like, bro, this is some bullshit. And the moderator kind of looked uncomfortable too, but he didn't say anything. And so that's on him though. You the moderator, G. Like, bro, you got to say something, my guy. But anyway, let's keep rocking.
I think I'm not going to say this is worse. Divorce is worse for the children.
Yeah. So he's going around explaining what he meant.
3 days later.
But I did say if there was one instance, because relationships, every relationship has fights. Every relationship has ups and downs. Anybody who says otherwise is a liar. Okay? There's conflict in relationships. Period. Even the happiest couples in the world, they have conflict. And anybody who denies that, like I said, they're lying.
I think you
Now, I didn't watch the entire podcast, but I watched a good amount of that podcast. He wasn't trying to make that argument. He plainly said that physical abuse should be, what's it called, endured. You should endure physical abuse, and you're too quick to get out of marriages just because somebody put their hands on you. Man, I don't get it. I don't get it. He's trying to do damage control
very
right
slickly,
now.
as if it made so your argument. Nobody said there aren't conflicts in a relationship.
That's not what's
Nobody said there aren't fights in a relationship. What people said is, just because those things exist doesn't mean you put your hands on your partner during one.
Even once.
Even once.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life. I don't want any history of trauma. I've dealt with those kind of fucking nutbags, and I don't ever want to deal with it ever again. I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman. So
You think you're normal? Exactly.
in what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Some motherfuckers must really hate you. Because after the last video, I just got people sending me everything. What did you say?
I punched a Latina bitch in the face at Rockon.
Bro, what is that? Okay, you know what? I get it now. I understand exactly why he had the argument that he had. The reason why is because he is a abuser. And if he says that you should not endure a relationship where there's physical abuse, he would then take himself out of contention for said relationships. So Let's keep rocking.
What's Rakan?
It's a club in Japan. He lives over there. He was talking shit to some guy. I guess people just linking the group chats. He was talking shit to some guy, and the guy said to him, well, at least I've never been arrested for glassing a bitch. And he's like, yo, why are you so sensitive? Are you going to leave next? So that's the MLD saying, like, why are you so sensitive? Why are you bringing that up? And the guy says, I'm not sensitive, just giving back some. And then MLD says, you act like that's the last bitch I'll smite on this planet.
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
I don't know when we've gotten to a point where, like, making jokes about hitting women is, you know what I'm saying, supposed to be funny. Like, what? Even in a group chat like that, it's been some crazy shit said in, like, Discord chats or whatever chat that is. But I've never seen something so vulgar as to say, this won't be the last time I hit a bitch. Bro, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's very bizarre that someone accuses or says that you bottled a woman in the face, and your response is, that didn't happen. Your response is, are you being sensitive right now? Why are you bringing this up? Then it makes me really think you did do that shit. Also, how would you kill this for being so disgusting? Personally, I think a good old-fashioned bludgeoning is the way to go. Big old monkey wrench to the head. And then he posts her picture in the group chat.
When has it become funny to make jokes about beating women? I don't know, bro. Maybe I was raised up different, bro. Maybe that's what y'all doing now. I doubt it, but...
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life.
Time to beat Aya. I'm gonna beat Aya for not being pretty enough. Have to beat Aya for letting this happen.
Dude name is Supreme Leader too. I just peeped that. Like, I saw it, but now it's like resonating with me. My God, like, this dude really does probably have some deep rooted issues, man. Ain't no way you telling me that you advocated for people to stay in relationships after being abused, not to come to find out that you are somebody who does the abusing. Like,
I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman.
I will glass a bitch with a champagne bottle for the honor of the group. If this happens, I'll have so much fucking money. I'm gonna glass like 17 bitches. Now, mind you, everything here I've been sent screen recordings for, so none of it is like edited photo. So this is him contacting somebody else about the incident in Japan. He goes, and you can see the video as he's scrolling. He says, hey, sorry to bother you about this. This guy attacked an innocent girl in Roppongi, and the police found him. I heard he did something to you. Is that true? And the woman in question, who's Japanese, she goes, yes, true. What him make for the girl? Which I think is her broken English. Yeah, I know he's a real scumbag. Is it true that he punched you in your face? And she says, yes. What happened with the other girl? And he says, are you sure it's definitely this guy? To which she replies, yes. And so a couple other people from Japan contacted me and said that this guy was charged for bottling a woman in the face after she rejected him at a club. This went to court. He settled out of court. The woman has a scar across her face. She didn't want to come forward and bring this up, nor does she want to be involved because she's been traumatized by the experience since.
Enough.
And people send me messages to people that know her, and people know of the incident, and all these are real. I made sure they sent me videos to show me they didn't fake no fucking DMs.
And that was like a club in Japan?
Yeah, and he's also being charged for somebody else in Japan. So why am I bringing all this up? Listen, group chats are your business. Personally, I've never been in a group chat where folks brag about punching women in the face or take joy in talking about how they want to kill somebody that they saw on Bumble because they're ugly, okay? But when this guy is getting on podcasts talking about he wants a well-adjusted, normal woman who's not traumatized, I'm like, brother, do you hear yourself? Do you see the stuff that you be writing? And then you want to be on a podcast telling women like, yo, listen, if you get hit once or more, endure. This is the person telling you to endure.
I told you was putting some olive oil and some garlic. You about...
Bro, I never heard that. I never heard that analogy before. Why was that funny? Bruh, preach me saying some stuff, bruh, and I'd be like, That's funny as hell. But anyway, let's keep going.
Like, what am I reading, bro?
Yo, look at the flick of the wrist.
Priest turning a little beat.
Yo.
Again, maybe that's how you guys talk in your group chats. Maybe I'm unaware because I only spend my time in
Not
two group
at all.
chats. And
Not at all.
It must be PG-13 compared to some other people. I don't know. So you guys let me know in the comments. Is this normal for your group? Because if it is, then maybe I need to take all this shit back.
You.
What? Is it? I don't know. That's why I'm actually asking. I really don't know.
I do not know.
But considering he's been charged, he's being charged again. He's got enough cases against him. A lot of these dudes...
A repeat offender. Look, the thing about this situation, man, it just goes to show you that a lot of times people be promoting this advice because they don't want people to like deter away from them because of their own problems. Like he has an abusive problem. So he's telling people to continue to endure because this is what he's going to do to you if you decide to be in a relationship with him. This is what's going to happen. A repeat offender? Psh, miss me with all
in these
that.
spaces want to always claim they're not anti-woman. But every time you peer behind the curtain, every time you look into it, every time you find out who they really are when the cameras aren't on, it just don't sound good. I mean, it don't sound good on camera, but it sounds even worse behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. Nobody online's perfect. Nobody online, but anybody who's trying to convince you to stay in a situation probably doesn't have your best interest in mind. And I'll also say this. A lot of people from the last video we did on this topic were saying, oh, you took these guys out of context. Go play the full clip. Go play the full clip. You know, a lot of these guys want to sit on a podcast, and the moment some woman says something radical like, I love to fleece men, they're quick. They get off their fucking seat to put her in her place. You want to rob men of their money through divorce? That's absolutely. Crazy. You should be calling these women out. Yeah, but then the dude sits beside you and says you should endure getting beaten by your husband or beaten by your wife in a marriage, and all of a sudden these same people get real quiet. They don't got much to say.
They don't get quiet. They just say that, hey, no, man, you took him out of context. Listen, nah.
That's a great point. That's why I've been seeing like multiple videos coming out about how a lot, and I don't know how deep in the red pill that those guys are, but a lot of these spaces that attack another space, they got the same face. They the same thing. They get upset when they get called out on their BS, but they love calling other people out on theirs. Great. Excellent point. Excellent
keep
point.
the same energy.
Or they'd be like, I don't know what to say. I wouldn't know how to advise somebody. I wouldn't know. Well,
because it don't fit the narrative. A woman
cheats on her husband, divorce. All of a sudden, you got plenty of prescriptions, right? You think people can't work through some infidelity, but you think that people should stick around through physical beatings? I don't know. It's just bizarre to me when I hear some of this stuff. So sometimes it's not even what's said. Sometimes what's not said. Sometimes it's the change in your energy. You loud and proud when it comes to shaming single moms and all this other stuff. But we talk about folks beating on women or beating on dudes, all of a sudden you don't keep that same energy. That's when you look sus. Keep that same energy for everything else. If you care as much as you claim. That's all I'm saying.
Keep going in the relationship.
Keep going.
Excellent
divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive.
You got to endure. People are too...
You want to stick in the relationship?
People are just... people nowadays are just...
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
I'll
tell you what. I'll tell you what.
It
is such an extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if
3 days later?
You know that guy. Now, not just him though. Not just him though. Cause we focusing a lot on him. He is the one that said endure, and I think the other guy did say that if somebody being beaten in a relationship, that you should get out. And I don't care if it's one time. One time is too many. But I digress. The thing about this, though, let's go back.
Are just
for anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
The guy right
such
here,
an extreme.
He is also a part of the issue because all he had to do, and all three of them, all they had to simply do is say if somebody's being abused in a relationship, they need to get out of relationship. We wouldn't even be having this conversation today. We wouldn't be having this conversation today. But they didn't say that. They didn't say that. He's a part of the problem too. We're not putting as much on him, but he has an extreme take. And I just wanted to say that because I feel like we're putting a lot of onus on the other guy. He is the main focal point of the video, but let's keep
an example that I can't give a prescription
because he gave a prescription for
what about if
3 days later?
Because I guess what they're trying to say is like if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship,
about physical abuse, yeah,
right. So they're trying to say that I'm saying that if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship, that he and
she should
her should stay and endure the thing. That's not what I said at all. But I did say if there was one instance, because
one is too many. One is too many. I don't understand. Let me let Alban preach time.
You didn't say that at all. And we can play the tape back.
Play it.
I think sometimes people get on podcasts and start talking. And there's what they say in their head or what they think and feel, and then what they actually say outwardly. Okay? I think he's just doing some damage control now because I think he thinks his take is better. Where it's like, if you get hit once, then, you can work things out. I'll be honest with you. I think once is too many times. Personal. Thoughts?
Go on. You cooking right now.
Things can get heated.
Yeah, and olive oil.
Words can be said. You can maybe even punch a wall. When you put your hands on the other person, you cross and this is man or woman. If a woman starts hitting you, I don't even feel that different.
God damn, did you put garlic in there?
Why is that?
You cooking.
Okay.
Did you put garlic? That's what garlic.
I don't feel it's that different. I think that's a very strong line you're crossing. And most of us who've never put our hands on a partner, okay, will know that's not a line I've been in a lot of arguments. Punching my girls never come up. But maybe I don't have the experience, so that's why I'm turning to you.
No. As a matter of fact, there's something that I told her when I was
This is easy.
And I told her,
Easy
never
question
scream at me. If you need some time to reflect, to calm your spirits down because of something that I did, please do so. If I ask you, is there something wrong? And I see there's something wrong, don't tell me, no, there's nothing. Tell me I want to talk about it now, and we'll talk about it later. So we can calm ourselves down. Because once the screaming, the insult, we're not insulting people. That's me. Some of y'all motherfuckers roll like that. I don't even roll like that with my friends. Like, I will not insult you, even insult you. Some shit that he's gonna do that's gonna piss me off, or some shit I'm gonna do that's gonna piss me off, that's gonna piss him off. I don't assume that it comes from a place of malice, or else we have a bigger problem. You understand what I'm saying? All that to say, the screaming, the calling names, those are steps before the hitting. You don't go from this to, no, listen, to a hit. Shit escalated. That's just me. And I said that when I was 16 to my girl. Maybe it's because of what I saw, what I saw and what I was raised with my parents. They had arguments. And at some point I remember that it would start to yell a bit much, but I was so not used to that I got downstairs and I was like, yo, like, are you guys separating and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. And they were like, they realized, and they said, no, we're just talking, but it's okay, we're good. Went back upstairs and they understood that they had to lower the thing a bit because, okay, now there's all that to say. Maybe it's because of how I was raised. And yes, that's a privilege. But the screaming, the name calling, even before it hit, that's a no. That's a no. Don't call me names because I will say stuff that I will not regret. And once you pass and once you say certain things, it's hard for me to turn back. The punching, one time? No, because there's other steps that was crossed before that.
Anything else you want to say?
Nah, bro.
All right, let us know what you guys think.
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent point because things do escalate. I know being married I've been married for 2 years, but we've been together for much longer than that. And the thing about it, I know is an old guy who used to give me advice on my relationship all the time. You used to see him and he just used to talk shit to me, but he he used to give me advice all the time. And the two things he used to tell me, one thing he used to say is never let the romance die inside of your relationship. That's when things go wrong. And that might sound corny. That might sound like something that you might not live by, but don't let the romance die in your relationships. But that's not the point that I want to, focus on. The second thing he told me was that when you're in a relationship, sometimes it'll be hard to do this, but if y'all have a disagreement or like an argument on something, do your best to not, let each other go to bed. And it's probably something y'all heard before, but don't let each other go to bed with all that stuff built up inside of you. Do your best to not let that happen, even if you don't necessarily fix it that day, because all issues are not going to be fixed in like a single day. Sometimes y'all might have something that may be fixed a couple days, who knows. But if you can't fix it right, then come to some kind of terms, some kind of intermission before y'all go to sleep. Don't let that stuff wane on you, man, because when stuff wane on you, that's when you start getting these abusive relationships, because of something that should have been solved like days ago. You know what I'm saying? Do your best to try to solve the issue before dark. You know what I'm saying? Try to solve these issues before you go to bed, man. So, you know, what Preach said was right. What Preach said was right, man. Do your best not to insult each other. Try to keep, you know what I'm saying? If y'all got an issue and y'all need to talk about it later, then hey, talk about it later. But let issues and problems be known, so, you know, stuff don't bottle up, man. Stuff get, a lot of times people just hold too much negative energy inside, man. You know what I'm saying? Or believe that you can hold that energy without saying anything. And, you know, that's something I had to work on, because I don't like talk about my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Or talking about what's bothering me. A lot of times I just hold it in because I can brush it off or whatever. But, you know, he had to learn to not do that. Even if you had to take a little time to actually think. Because that's me. I kind of had to take a little time to actually think, like, how do I really feel about this? You know what I'm saying? I haven't had to do that in a long time, but, you know, I had to work on that when I was like 20, 21, because I didn't want to talk about my feelings. We don't talk about no feelings. Don't talk about no issues. Just move on, you know. But it's something I had to learn as I, you know, had gotten older. But anyways, man, I think that there was Preach did an excellent job of ending that video. It's some real advice that guys, or, you know, even girls, can take and apply. So anyways, I just wanted to add to all of that. Let me know what you think about this entire video, or how was it. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.